This is Jay Teaches Reading for All, Lesson 4, Introducing the Letter D. And we're going to review the sounds first, as usual. Students, what sound does B make? B, bat. How about C? K, cap. Teachers, it's fine if you want to go back and review the A and the N sound. That's fine, but I'm only going to go back 2 lessons. Now we're going to do the words. And students, let's see if you can read these words before I do. First one. B and ban. Next. Nab, nab. Next one is down here. K and can. Next. K ab, cab. Last one. Back, back. All right. Now, let's review. Oh, and I should say, teachers, if you want to give the student a quick spelling test, if you think that would be helpful, go right ahead and do that. You can press pause and take care of that. Now, we're going to read the sentences. And teachers, I want you to have the students read the sentence to you. Don't worry about the true and false. Help is needed. As I pointed out last time, for example, if they're having trouble with this word, you can help them sound it out. Nab. Or you can take a little more time and ask them the sound of each letter. Like, if they're having trouble, ask them, what does N sound like? And you can remind them about the picture of a nut or something like that. And have them put in a little more individual input, so to speak. So go ahead and press pause and have them read these to you. All right, now we're going to introduce the new letter, which is D. D makes the sound of D, donut. And let's see what Channy's has for D. Channy's has not D, donut, but D, dog. Okay, that's a good one. And if you're a teacher who's not going to do the practice printing, you can skip to the words, and there are a bunch of them. But those who are doing the printing, the capital D is made by making a straight line down, picking up the pencil, going to the top, and making a half circle around from top to bottom. The small d is made by making the donut first, just like you're making the small a, except when you go straight up the right side, you just keep on going up and then come down. So again, you're not taking your pencil off the paper. Make the donut first and then up and down. So teachers, you can press pause, have the students practice these 2 or 3 times and ask them to make the D sound after each practice until you are satisfied they know that sound. Okay, now we're going to read some new words, and we've got 6 new words to read. I I sometimes will, when I'm teaching these words, I'll sometimes do a bat alongside the B and make the D into a donut, because students will often mix up these two letters. They look very similar. So I try to emphasize the B, bat comes first on the B, and the D, donut comes first on the D. You could have the students practice a few times on a separate sheet of paper somewhere and just get the hang of that. And don't be surprised if it takes a while before the students understand the difference, because it takes a while sometimes. Okay, first word, b-ad, bad. Next, add, add. D-add, dad. D-and, Dan. And dab, dab. A dab means a little bit of something. Like if someone gives you a dab of ice cream, they just give you a little bit, which is not so good. But if they dab and dab and dab ice cream on your pie, that might turn out to be quite all right. Now, teachers, if students have trouble with the definitions of any of these words, younger students, for example, I'm going to let you handle explaining the definitions to them. What I'd like you to do now, teachers, is to press pause and just have the students read through these words a couple times. We're not looking for mastery, because they'll be dealing with these words again and again before we're done with this lesson. Press pause. All right, now we're going to practice printing. And in your printing practice, if you're doing the dot to dots, or even if you're doing a book, you might want to use, the little bat next to the B and the circle inside the D. Up to you. I only did a couple of these, but I'd like you now, teachers, again, press pause and have the students practice printing these and then saying the word after they do the printing. And as I've said in the last couple lessons, you teachers who are not teaching printing, you still may want to have the student print out the words and then say them. Your choice. Press pause. Okay, now we're going to have a spelling test. And those of you who are using the 2x2 cutouts, I believe there are going to be 5 that are needed. Capital D, small d, B, N, and A. So press pause, teachers, and give the students the spelling test. All right, now we have some true and false for the students to do. Remember, teachers, they are to read the sentence once silently and then tell you whether they think it's true or false. Then have them read it out loud, help them as needed, and they'll give their final true and false answer and give their reason for it if needed. And as long as they give a well thought out, logical reason, count it correct. Kids have vivid imaginations, and they can come up with reasons why a sentence is true or a sentence is false that adults don't even think of. So be liberal on this one. Press pause. All right, here are my answers. Number 1, Dan and Dad can add. This could be true. Number 2, a cab can nab a dab. Well, a cab is an automobile. It's not going to do something that a person can do. And it's pretty silly to just say dab without specifying, what is a dab of what? A dab of mud. So I would say false. Too silly. Number 3. Dan can nab a bad dad. And I just realized, teachers, you didn't have a chance on that one. The students didn't have a chance on that one because I had it hidden. And unless you have X-ray vision, you couldn't see that one. But here it is. And I'll let the students try it right now. Just press pause and let them try that one. All right, my answer, Dan can nab a bad dad. Now, if Dan is a police officer and Dad is hunting or fishing where he's not supposed to be, I suppose you could say he's being bad, and the police officer, Dan, could nab him. Students may say false, and they'll have reasons for that. And again, be liberal and count them correct if they have a reasonable answer. Okay, our next lesson, which is going to be lesson 5, is going to be on E. Now, E is our second vowel. A was our first vowel, and vowels are important because in English, every word, in order to be a word, has to have a vowel. So we shall see you all on the next very important lesson.